Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that pass! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out!
Good evening from the Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Normally the home of the New England Patriots, tonight the temporary home of the England national team. And tonight, one of the most eagerly anticipated group stage fixtures of the tournament. You are listening to us live on the Commentators Hub. My name is Alex Peters. Alongside me today is Paul James, whose thoughts on this one we'll come to in a moment's time. But first, let's run through the lineups of both sides and the officials for today's game. So for England, two changes to Thomas Tuchel's side. You have Jordan Pickford starting in goal, of course. Reece James and Ezri Konsa are the mainstays, but Mark Guéhi and Jed Spence both come in for John Stones and Nico O'Reilly, respectively. In the midfield, Elliot Anderson has partnered alongside Declan Rice, who helped get the assist for Kane's opener in that thriller against Croatia, whereas it's the same front four with Noddy Madueke, Jude Bellingham, Anthony Gordon, all playing behind Harry Kane, who will be gunning for Gary Lineker's top England record. For the Ghana team today, there's not many changes to the side. We are Sarr in goal. At right back today, you have Senenya with the centre-back partnership of Ajete and Opoku. Mensah is the final fullback. In the midfield, you have Yereneke, who was the 95th minute hero for Ghana in their last game against Panama. Sibo's in midfield, but the main talking point will, of course, be Thomas Partey returning to the squad, who was denied entry to Canada after charges in the UK. The front three is Antoine Semenyo, who can be considered Ghana's main man. Manchester City, he got 6 goals in his last 5 games for them going towards the end of the season. And Nake Williams, born in Bilbao, plays for Bilbao, but representing Ghana here. He scored at the Qatar 2022 World Cup. Jordan Ayew leads the line at 35. He is the all-time leading Ghanaian appearance holder. The managers for today are Thomas Tuchel and the ex-Manchester United manager Carlos Queiroz. But going through the officials today, we have Side Martinez of Honduras with Walter Lopez and Christian Ramirez as the assistant referees. The fourth official is Manning, whereas on assistant referee is Zhu Fei. And here we are then. England come flying into this game. 4 goals against Croatia. Harry Kane equaling Gary Lineker's England World Cup record with a brace. And it is a squad full of confidence. Ghana come in quietly dangerous. A 95th minute winner. A goalkeeper of doubt. And the most important player returning after missing the opener. Whoever wins this all but guarantees their place in the round of 32 with a game to spare. This one matters. Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham lead England out. Thomas Partey is back. Jordan Ayew at 35, the most capped Ghanaian of all time, leads Ghana out for possibly the last time on a World Cup stage. We are moments away from this one on the Commentators Hub. Let me take a moment to say good evening to Paul James. And Paul, what are your thoughts on Thomas Tuchel's lineup today?
Good evening, Alex. Good evening, everybody. Few changes I was almost expecting. He's kept the front lineup of Madueke, Bellingham and Gordon behind Kane. I think that's a smart move. They both played very, very well. Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice playing behind them in holding the midfield. I think defensively they did need to make adjustments after the game against Croatia, and it looks like Thomas Tuchel has done that. For Jordan Ayew, he is leading goal scorer in qualifications with 7 goals, so he's still a threat at 36 years of age. Thomas Partey, I know from his time at Arsenal, he is very dangerous in the midfield. He's a very creative player. Antoine Semenyo is a goal-scoring threat and a creative threat that England's defence will have to watch out for.
That they will, Paul. And yes, a lot of players with Premier League experience in this Ghanaian team, but it's set to be a big test for them today. And I do think that Jed Spence has been brought in to sort of stop that Ghanaian counter, as we are expecting them to sit deep today. It's going to be a different game from against Croatia. They are ranked 74th in the FIFA rankings, Ghana. But I just want to take a moment to speak about Harry Kane, Paul. This is him being on the verge of today, and he becomes England's outright leading World Cup goal scorer.
Yeah, that could happen. He's obviously become England's all-time leading goal scorer with 81 goals in 115 caps. Definitely is looking to close in on Gary Lineker's World Cup record. And no doubt he'll break that eventually. He's lethal in front of goal. And with the right support that he's getting from Bellingham, Noni Madueke and Anthony Gordon, it makes a formidable front line for England.
It definitely does. And as we saw against Croatia, there's a wealth of options on the bench as well. Bukayo Saka, Marcus Rashford. England have plenty of options if needed. But we are nearly underway here at Gillette Stadium. Harry Kane is standing over the ball in the centre of the pitch. As we mentioned before, both sides won their opening game on Matchday 1. So whoever wins today puts themselves in good stead to make the round of 32 and also top the group. So moments away, Paul. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, me too. Very excited about this. I mean, I think whoever wins does qualify. Doesn't necessarily guarantee group victory, but if England win it, they would have to lose to Panama, and Panama would have to beat Croatia for England not to top the group if they're going to win this game, if they win this game today. So it's almost an impossible situation. England, if they win today, I think will probably top the group, and well, you never know who they might get in the next round.
That we don't, but here we are, we're underway in this second Group L game for England as Pickford punched the ball long here and cleared by the Ghanaian defence. And the ball is bobbling around there as Jed Spence tries to get it under control. Now with Gordon out on this left-hand side and Ghana just trying to release it, but that's comfortably back in England's possession. How do you feel about John Stones coming out of the side today, Paul? Mark Gay back in there?
I think it's the right move. I think England struggled defensively against Croatia, and it was the only part of the English side that looked inefficient. So I felt that changes had to be made today. John Stones, probably the right move to replace him. Somebody a bit quicker, a bit more agile, like Gahey and Konsa, I think, at the back are going to give England that extra bit of pace at the back as well. So we'll see if it affects anything in this game. But England were ruthless in the game against Croatia. There was almost an element of German efficiency I've seen down the years by watching Germany. Was passed on to the English side that I haven't seen in my lifetime from an England side, to be honest.
I agree, Paul, and it was England's best opening game World Cup performance since that 6-1 against Iran, but 4 goals, of course, is something which Thomas Tuchel will be more than happy with. But he's expecting a different game here. He expected Croatia to take the game to England, whereas Ghana, they're expected to sit in deep here. As mentioned before, they only got the winner in the 95th minute against Panama. So what else do you expect from Ghana today, Paul?
Strong defence. They did very, very well in the qualifications. They didn't concede many goals. You could see that they were holding the ball up against Panama and even also playing in a way, in a kind of a defensive manner in that game as well. Basically, the Black Stars will probably play a very low block. I expect a low block from them. And because a lot of the bigger teams have struggled against that low block, which teams like Australia and Paraguay have applied.
That we have. We've seen some remarkable results at this World Cup already. Of course, Cape Verde getting that draw against Spain, and we're seeing that from Ghana at the moment as England just passing the ball patiently round on that outside at the moment. And just a quick moment to speak about the 73-year-old Carlos Queiroz as manager, Paul. He came in only 2 months ago into this side, and he won the first game, so all started well.
Yeah, he'll be very, very happy with his start. I mean, he's got a fairly decent team. I think, apart from England, you're kind of looking between Croatia and Ghana about who's going to qualify. That last match next Saturday, or on Saturday, I should say, it's going to be a huge game between Ghana and Croatia. Both sides are going to be looking for the victory to get themselves through to the next round.
That they will. Croatia versus Panama, of course, after this. And just past the 3-minute mark here. My name is Alex Peters. You are listening to us live here on the Commentators Hub, me alongside Paul James. If you can, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, it all helps out. The balls just came out wide here to Mensah as Ghana look to stage their first attack of the game. It's Semenyo now on the ball. Some nice triangles there from Ghana. A first real bit of possession here, and the conditions may suit England a bit more. We obviously saw the severe weather delays in the France game last night, Paul, as there's an offside here for Ghana. But yeah, your thoughts on that crazy game?
Well, again, this whole thing with the weather was one of the reasons why I was not in favour of the World Cup being held in the United States, amongst other reasons. It seems that we're going to see the same thing again. I know America now want to hold the Copa America in 2028. They also want to hold the Club World Cup again in 2029. The answer to these questions should be no. It needs to be where there's minimal disruption, where there's no political upheaval. Clearly there's political upheaval in America right now, and that's partly played responsible into this situation that we've had with all kinds of problems, from referees not being able to get in to teams having their luggage sniffed the moment they land.
Yes, there's been plenty of controversy going into this World Cup as England win a free kick just on the outside of the Ghanaian box here, about 30 yards out. But you're right, we've obviously had the issues with Thomas Partey, who's making his first appearance at the 2026 World Cup. He was denied entry into Canada based on charges in the UK. And interestingly enough, Gianni Infantino mentioned that Donald Trump will be at the World Cup final, similar to how he did in the Club World Cup final. So any thoughts on that one, Paul?
Oh, goody.
I expected the level of enthusiasm from you there, but England with their first real attacking opportunity here now. Declan Rice standing over the ball, as you well know, had so much success with Arsenal from set pieces this season, but unlucky there, Paul.
Yeah, it's England have started very, very well, and you can expect them to once again try to dominate the ball in the air as well from the free kicks, which is something they did very well in the last game against Croatia. And free kicks, Ghana should try and avoid giving free kicks in and around the penalty area to avoid conceding goals from these free kicks, especially corners as well. They've been very effective from these areas of England so far.
That they have, and throw-in here for England on the left-hand side as Kane sends a long ball across field. Falls to the feet of Madueke with a lovely touch here as he tries to fashion an opportunity to cross the ball in, but it's just recycled now. This is back in possession. Konsa passes over to Gueye, and that low block as we expected from Ghana in effect here as England claim for a free kick, but looks like it's gone the other way here.
I think, Alex, England have the talent to break down the low block. I mean, many of these England players play their football in the Premier League. I mean, we've got 9 out of the 11 starters today that do play their football in the Premier League, so they're familiar with the low block. I think that they do have the capability of breaking that down.
I agree, and you're right when you mentioned about the players playing in the Premier League, but Harry Kane, of course, of Bayern, Jude Bellingham of Real Madrid, both will be more than used to facing opposition with 10 men behind the ball as they are today. And I do believe you're right in the fact that we have the talent to break this down, and Thomas Tuchel has the tactical nous to sort of combat this Ghanaian defence. But here's Ghana now on the attack. Look at the stage and opportunity, and this will be the moment they're taking, but it looks like it's been well defended there by Elliot Anderson, and he's been a great addition to this England midfield, Paul.
Yeah, he's extremely good. He's had a real breakout season for Nottingham Forest. His passing ability is extremely uncanny, accurate, and he creates opportunities as well for the three behind Harry Kane. And you can expect to see that a coupled alongside Declan Rice in that position. It's a very strong position England are in right now.
It certainly is, and yeah, adding the dynamic ability of Anderson into that midfield will only strengthen England, and they have a litter of options in the central midfield, of course. Adam Wharton, who didn't even make the squad, but when you look at the subs bench, there's players as Kobbie Mainoo, who had a resurgence towards the end of last season. Morgan Rogers, of course, who's played brilliant with Villa, Europa League winner, of course. Jordan Henderson, who's on his third World Cup. That experience is invaluable as the ball comes out wide here now. Madueke unable to control it as England.
On top of that, you've got the second leading goal scorer in Saudi Arabia in Ivan Toney.
That you do. Of course, when you're talking about Saudi Arabian League goal scorers, you have to mention Cristiano Ronaldo, but here's an opportunity for England as Ghana get the ball back and try and stage a counter. But just your thoughts on its performance earlier today, Paul? 2 goals in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, he's received a lot of criticism, hasn't he, for not scoring in 10 games, but I think people are ridiculous to criticise a man of his talents. Is he better? The age-old debate is he better than, Messi, or is Messi better? I'm not going to get into that right now. I have my opinions, but what I will say is Cristiano Ronaldo is extremely talented, and it was only going to be a matter of time before he started scoring again.
I'm back, Ronaldo declared to the cameras after Portugal's 5-0 win over Uzbekistan. A perfect reply after the uninspiring 1-1 draw with Congo now. And England, Anderson just passes it out wide here. Madueke looking to run at the defender. Gets the ball in there, but it's cleared again by Opoku. And the ball back out to Anderson once again. But it's been a World Cup for goal scorers so far, Paul. I mean, in the last 24 hours or so, you've had Mbappe, Harry Kane, Messi, Ronaldo all get a brace. I will be hoping for the same from Harry Kane today.
Yeah, I think it's what you've come to expect, isn't it? What the talented athletes that are participating in this competition. It's truly incredible, and we really are privileged to see it. We're living in a time where we've got the likes of Messi, Mbappe, Harry Kane, Ronaldo, some fantastic players, generational players that are currently playing the game right now, and we have the pleasure to see it. It's quite something else, to be honest.
Certainly is. England nearly getting in on goal there. Some brilliant play down this right-hand side. They are finding some joy down here against Mensa. But you're right, we truly are living in a great time. A lot of people thought that 2022 would be the last World Cup of Ronaldo and Messi. The fact they're still here and still producing these big moments on the world stage. It's great to see Harry Kane, who obviously came into this tournament in amazing form. He got 2 goals in that opening game, albeit a missed, then retaken penalty. But here's England once again, looking to add to Kane's tally. Of course, a Golden Boot winner back in 2018. And England get a free kick here just on the outside, and it looks like it's going to take a lot of goals to get that Golden Boot this year. Just Fontaine, of course, with the record of 13. Do you expect that to be beaten this year, Paul?
Every possibility. Every possibility. I honestly never thought anyone would beat Klose's record.
It creeped up on us, didn't it? Of course, Messi did what he did back in 2022, but I didn't realise that his goals in that tournament got him so close to the record, and already with 2 games played, he's already exceeded it.
Yeah. I mean, we're just fortunate to see that, and it's going to be like, you look at the French national team, you look at Portugal. A lot of people aren't talking about Portugal. Look at the talent that they've got in their team as well.
Brilliant. Of course, when you could bring Rafael Leao on in the 85th minute, and he got the 5th goal for Portugal. Of course, he's coming back from an injury, but England with another opportunity here, just about 30 yards out, left-hand side. Reece James standing over the ball. Declan Rice as well. And Declan Rice lines up a shot here, and it's sailed just over. And England's first real chance on the Ghanaian goal.
Not a million miles away. It was quite a distance out, and had the goalkeeper scrambling, but just over the crossbar a little bit.
That's it, Declan Rice. With a big grin on his face. Could have been even bigger if the ball had found the back of the net. And we're just seeing some rain come down now here in Boston. And you would think that would play more in the favour of England rather than Ghana, as Harry Kane wins a free kick here in the Ghanaian defensive half.
A little bit of light rain will probably help the pace of the game. I just hope we're not going to get any more delays.
Me and you both, as we saw a 2-hour delay in the France game last night. And football is a bit peculiar in that sense, where if the weather conditions get so bad or if the temperature gets too hot, there's not necessarily a limit for it to be abandoned. It's much more up to the discretion of the officials and the people working in the stadium whether or not they feel the game can continue. But 2 hours for a delay, you could fit another game into that, Paul.
You could. It's just, like I said, it's just ridiculous. I don't like the idea. Honestly, I really don't like the idea of it being held in America anymore. In 1994, it was good. I felt they'd done a good job, and I felt, yeah, maybe they deserve another chance at it. And then after the Club World Cup, I could sort of potentially see the problems that might occur.
We are Elliot Anderson. Deflected shot, and Ghana get out for a throw-in, but I think you're right. As we mentioned at the start of the show, there are so many other controversies and issues going into this World Cup. And last night was the first time we saw the weather really affecting the game and causing such a severe delay. The fans in the stadium, obviously, absolutely drenched. Didier Deschamps' suit was carrying about twice as much water than from when he had left the pitch in the first half. Here's Gordon now with the ball on the outside, looking to cut in Rhodes, taking on Sanaya, twisting and turning, gets the ball back out to Elliot Anderson. And England just hunting on the outside now as the ball's played through Jed Spence. He gets it in, Declan Rice, and well defended, and it's an England corner, their first of the game here, Paul.
Oh, they're starting to tick-tock here, England, ticking the ball around. They're playing very, very well. They look very comfortable in possession, and what I like to call tiki-tock football, where they're just knocking the ball around and patiently trying to break down Ghana.
Tommy Tuchel's tiki-tock football. Here we are. Declan Rice looking to recreate the magic in that first game against Croatia now. Harry Kane. And Ghanaian defenders will be sticking close to him as the ball comes in now here. It's cleared, but not convincingly. Ball back out, Reece James just lets it roll off the pitch, thrown for England now as they look to get play restarted quickly. Elliot Anderson back in possession as the ball comes back to Jed Spence on the halfway line now. And England with 80% possession so far. Very dominant on the ball. Reece James.
You expect it. You expect it this early on, to England to dominate possession. Let's see if they can turn some of this possession into chances. But I think it's something that you very much expect early on.
As we mentioned, yeah, Ghana expected to set up in this low block. Carlos Queiroz will be happy with what he's seen so far as Jordan Ayew wins a free kick. As mentioned at the start of the show, became the leading all-time Ghanaian appearance maker in that victory over Panama, and what he would love to take this Ghana side further than whenever any other African side has been before. As the ball comes down here for Ghana now, trying to fashion an opportunity, but that's a foul.
That will mean them getting to the final, of course. The best they've done is the 2010 quarterfinals for Ghana is the best they've done. But if they want to do better and see if they can get through to the semi-finals, we'll wait and see, because we are seeing some surprises in this World Cup so far.
We certainly have. Ghana, of course, that 2010 defeat to Uruguay in controversial fashion. Asamoah Gyan missing the penalty. And an interesting fact for you, Paul, is that England and Ghana in their last meeting in 2011 in a 1-1 friendly, Asamoah Gyan got the goal for Ghana. Could you hazard a guess who got the goal for England?
Oh, I don't know.
You do have a big sort of database of players to choose from when I mentioned 2011 England, but
yeah,
he's, I'll give you a clue. He's got the same last name as Thomas Tuchel's assistant manager.
I don't even know. You see, I don't even follow England. Like most people who know me, they know I don't follow England. So you're asking me a question like that.
Yeah.
It's not, let me guess, it wasn't Steven Gerrard, was it?
It wasn't. It was a midfielder, though.
It wasn't.
Was
Frank Lampard?
Not Frank. I wouldn't say a notable England midfielder.
Oh, I'm trying to remember now. Somebody going back that far. Alex, I'm getting old.
I apologise to put you on the spot. I don't think he made many appearances for England, truth be told, but England have the ball on the right-hand side now. I'll give Paul a moment to think about as England stages attack. Reece James with the ball into the box, but into the keeper, Asare's hands.
I'm still trying to think about it, actually. And I know they've only ever played Ghana only one other time before. And yeah, it was 1-1, I remember that, but I don't remember who got the goal. Was it Andy Carroll?
Andy Carroll would have been an amazing shout. It was not. I believe the player, I don't think it was beaten this year, but I believe the player is still the all-time Premier League appearance maker. If anyone in the comments, of course, can hazard a guess, we'll run through some of those too. Ashley Young, no.
Oh.
I can put you out of your misery if you like, Paul.
Yes,
I can put you out
please
of your misery.
do. Put me out of my misery, because I go on then, who is it?
The man's initials are GB, Great Britain. He is known as Gareth Barry.
Oh, man.
I won't imagine you're kicking yourself for not knowing that.
No, I don't even... I remember Gareth Barry, but it's not. It would not have been my first guess.
I was as bemused as you were, but I thought it was quite a nice segue when you had mentioned the 2010 World Cup. So I looked at the fixture, I saw Asamoah Gyan had scored, and then, interestingly enough, Gareth Barry also on the score sheet. But I think that was very reflective of England in the early 2010s, to be honest with you, Paul.
Yeah, they weren't very good, were they?
There we are. We have... I've just seen that producer
with
Nick.
That defeat to Iceland in 2016. Must admit, that made me chuckle.
I'm glad you managed to get a good laugh out of it, Paul.
You know what? You know what was the most fun part? Going
me.
on YouTube and watching the angry videos. that was the most fun part.
I'm sure you had them in abundance that night with fan reactions.
I had a nice plate full of popcorn as well while I was watching it. It was.
I can imagine it must have been cinema. But we have Reece James down on the pitch at the moment after a collision with Jordan Ayew's getting bandaged up. Just waiting for play to restart here. We are approaching the first hydration break of the game, and I will be coming to Paul Bruce Force on those when it comes. But what are your thoughts on the opening 20 minutes then, Paul? What have you seen from England? What have you seen from Ghana?
Well, I've not seen much from Ghana. They've defended very, very well, very, very astutely. And I think they felt that they wanted to get through the first sort of 20 minutes without conceding. I feel that was important for Ghana, that they didn't concede early. And they've done well in that area. England have moved the ball very, very well, but I think they've struggled to break down Ghana defensively. From the corners, though, Ghana do look like they look a bit more brittle from the corners and the free kicks. So I think that might be where England could hurt Ghana the most.
They could, of course. England's goal against Croatia coming from a Declan Rice corner into the onto the head of Harry Kane, may I say. As Ghana get the ball back into play here in the England half. We haven't seen much of this so far. Ball out to Inaki Williams, looking to thread through the pass. He's unable to find the man. And England, they win a free kick here. Mark Gay back into the lineup. Of course, after his move to Manchester City, the ball back in possession now here with Declan Rice as he looks to move forward. Jordan Ayew sporting a bandage now. Reminiscent, well, not quite, of Terry Butcher, of course.
Remember that. I remember that. That's when footballers were, that some of them were very hard men, and they could go through a game like that with some of the worst types of injuries that modern day footballers wouldn't be able to do.
That we wouldn't. Jordan Ayew sporting the bandage, but I believe Terry Butcher was a bit more bloodied, for lack of a better term, than what we're seeing from Ayew at the moment.
Yeah, it was. I must admit, growing up, Terry Butcher was somebody I had a lot of respect for. Him and Stuart Pearce, I had so much respect for both of those players.
Stalwarts, of course, Stuart Pearce has a long history with the England and youth systems. He's coached here, coached with players in the squad as Bellingham now gets the ball moving forward, back out here on the left-hand side as he finds Reece James. England just looking to fashion an opportunity right here. Here's Madueke now. Reece James with the ball into the box, but cleared once again by Opoku. And Anderson. That is a foul by Semenyo, as it looks like we're not going to have the hydration break at the moment. Looks like we're continuing on. And it looks like it might surpass the time for the hydration break. We may not be having one unless it was incorporated within the Reece James and Jordan Ayew injuries. But the ball out of play here.
I suspect it's coming.
We can dream, Paul. We can dream. Of course.
I know. And they've got to get the commercials in now. They've got to get the commercials in.
And the dream is dead as we have the first hydration break here in Boston as it is raining. So, Paul, you noticed that Thomas Tuchel had some interesting things to say about the hydration breaks during his pre-match conference.
Yeah, I was listening to a press conference, some of the pre-match press conferences. I didn't listen to it all. But he said he feels it disrupts the fluency of the game, and that he generally prefers it to be two halves, and it affects the way the game is played, and also affects if you will, the momentum of a team that may have the momentum and then may lose it during the hydration break, which of course we've seen a couple of times in this World Cup, haven't we? You know, that hydration break has disrupted the momentum in a few different games. Myself personally, I hate it. There's no reason for it. It's different if it's hot. You know, if it's very, very hot, that's one thing. But a lot of these games are being played in stadiums where they have a roof and it's closed, like the AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, the NRG Center in Houston. There's a few of them there that offer a retractable roof, and there's no need at all for them to be taking these hydration breaks just so that we can get a whole bunch of commercials thrown at us and that they can make extra money. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's hogwash.
Very much so, and you've seen different broadcasters around the world utilize these hydration breaks in different ways. Of course, we've seen the monetization in the States and other countries, but ITV themselves, they've used the opportunity to have Emma Hayes break down the game tactically, whereas during the BBC coverage, they obviously get some insight from the pundits and so on. ITV, interestingly enough, were not allowed to broadcast any more adverts during their slot, and that's the reason that you don't see adverts during the hydration break on ITV, despite them having those issues. And regardless of that, I agree with everything that you say, Paul, because we're not really seeing these done for players' welfare. Of course, the conditions are hotter in the States at the moment, but the game is raining as we currently watch it. You do not necessarily need a hydration break in the middle of this game. Coaches may enjoy it as it gives them the opportunity, obviously, to get some messages across to their players that they may not have had the chance to before half-time. And as you mentioned, of course, we have seen games swing and momentum change because of these hydration breaks. Germany, Curacao was one of the ones I think about most noticeably. Curacao had an opportunity before the hydration break to make it 2-1, and then Germany went on to win that game 7-1. But fortunately, this hydration break is over. The ball is back in play. 29 minutes on the clock. You are listening to England versus Ghana with me, Alex Peters, and Paul James. Don't forget to subscribe. Please like the video. It really helps us out. Thank you for all of your comments. Read through some of them at half-time. And Anthony Gordon there, unable to control the ball. And Ghana have a throw-in on this right-hand side.
Yeah, at least you didn't use the word quarters, Alex. I just want to thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it.
The temptation was there. The temptation was there.
I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't.
I know how you feel, Paul. I know how you feel. I wouldn't want to, poke the bear any more than I need to. And here we go. Here's Gay with the ball now. Back to Jordan Pickford, who's not had really anything to do so far in this game. But of course, that would have been the game plan of Carlos Queiroz with this Ghanaian low block. But they are trying to press England now. Jordan Ayew looking to hunt down the ball.
Yeah, I expected Ghana definitely to start with the low block. It may continue as the game goes on, but I definitely expected them to start with it. And you know what? Ghana do have players quick enough to catch England on the break. And I think Thomas Tuchel might have been in his thinking when he made the changes defensively for the start of this game.
Very much so. For the brilliance of Nico O'Reilly, who's had an amazing breakout season for Manchester City, of course, and his technical ability on that left-hand side is great. You do want the speed of someone like Jed Spence, and I think that's why Thomas Tuchel would have included him in the 26-man squad, because he knows he's going to come up against teams like Ghana, in this case, who will be looking to counter, looking to break with pace. And having someone like Jed Spence there just offers a bit more solidity than you would expect from Nico O'Reilly, who, for all of his brilliance technically, doesn't carry the same pace as a player like Spence.
Yeah, he's a different type of player. I mean, it's Nico O'Reilly can also fall into a midfield role as well. So if he's needed, he can go on to the left side of midfield if Thomas Tuchel wants to use him there. So there is a chance that he will get on during the game. And like you, I agree. I've been so impressed with him this past season. It just goes to show what a fantastic manager Pep Guardiola is, to bring this talent through and to use him correctly the way that he has. And he's really brought this player on a long way in just one season.
Truly is. We've seen him do it with other English players in the past, of course. Phil Foden, who's not at this tournament, has had some brilliant moments for club and country, as England do well to win a free kick here. And a foul there conceded by Opoku. Mark Gay, I think that's the third foul that Gay's won in this first half. And it's one of the many attributes that a player like Mark Gay brings, of course, part of the Euro 2024 squad. It's Consa now looks to bring the ball forward. And England was a bit more of a dramatic start in the Croatia game, but still 0-0 here, Paul.
Well, I don't think there's any need for England to rush. I don't think there's any need for England to panic. I think the goals will come, but even if they don't and they only get a point out of this, they've got Panama up next. With all due respect to Panama, and I don't want to sound like I'm dissing them or anything like that, but they're nowhere near in England's league. And I fully expect them to beat Panama fairly easily, but I expect the goals to come. But it wouldn't be a disaster if England did just pick up a draw in this game.
Very true, and I think that segues nicely for me to speak about the curse of the England second game. But first, there's an opportunity for Bellingham as the shot is blocked. The ball still in possession here as it comes back out to Jed Spence as he switches to play once again. Madueke looking to run inside as the ball comes in. It's cleared well by Adjate. And now Semenyo looking to break. His ball back into Mensah, who's brought down and wins a foul for Ghana and relieves the pressure there. Elliot Anderson with the foul conceded.
Well, once again, England building up, trying to find their way through. Patient play, they're not panicking, and I think this is all right by England so far. It's a good professional display so far. Like I said, I believe they will eventually break them down.
Me too, and I think when you consider, of course, England knew that this would be the game today. You're right, they could be patient. They put on such a brilliant performance in that first game against Croatia. So we've seen what this Thomas Tuchel side can do against good opposition. But this Ghana team are providing decent opposition here as Anthony Gordon gets the ball into the box. But it's cleared once again by that Ghanaian defence. And Carlos Queiroz will be more than happy for this to continue.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be happy with this right now. He'll be very happy with the way that Ghana have played. England haven't forced the goalkeeper into a save yet, and of course the Ghanaian goalkeeper Benjamin Asari, he's the only player in the entire squad that actually plays his football in Ghana. He plays for Hearts of Oak.
It's a great bit of research from you there, Paul. I enjoyed that fact.
I do my prep.
That you do, despite knowing the England assistant manager, of course. But
no,
I'm sure that's that's my choice.
That's my choice.
That's it. We can accept that.
Well, I got the important stuff down, I think. He says.
Yeah, that's it. Anthony Barry, of course, he worked with Thomas Tuchel, Chelsea, PSG, Dortmund. He said that Thomas Tuchel was the only manager that he would have left Chelsea for, as he did when he linked up with him again at the England national team. And he came out and gave a rousing speech at half-time during the Croatia game. And it was said by the players that an even bigger speech was had by Thomas Tuchel in the changing rooms. And I just wonder what your thoughts are, Paul, on his impact on this England squad so far and the general mood when you compare it to the last tournament in Euro 2024.
Well, I'm not one of these that criticise Gareth Southgate. He got to two finals, 2 Euro finals and a World Cup semi-final. I don't think you can argue with that as an England manager, especially compared to the previous England managers that have been in. I think Tuchel has brought a lot of positivity to England in the England side. It may not be pleasing to the fans, but one thing I have to say is I find some England fans, and I use the term some, I just want to say that, I use the term some, but I find some England fans quite insufferable. They've qualified without dropping a single point or conceding a single goal. What more can you possibly expect?
That's it. Sometimes you can never please some people, can you, Paul, unfortunately?
No, that's true.
Here we are. So England will be hoping to please the fans back home as we approach the 37th minute here. You are listening to us live here on the Commentators Hub. My name is Alex Peters. Alongside me is, of course, Paul James. Make sure you can subscribe. Make sure you like. All helps out the channel massively as the ball back in possession with Mark Gay here. And this has been the story of the first half. England just patiently playing the ball from left to right, looking for those inroads and those opportunities to get at this Ghana defence. But Carlos Queiroz has set his side up well here. They've really not given England anything. As Paul mentioned, the keeper Asari is yet to make a save, and Harry Kane will be quite disappointed with that as he looks to break Gary Lineker's World Cup record.
Yeah, he's not received the service, has he, really, because they've not been able to break down the low block. You see, what they've chosen to do here, Ghana, is ensure that the ball doesn't get to Kane in the first place. If you can't stop him when he's in the box and gets the ball because he is so dangerous, then you have to stop him receiving the ball. That's what they've done. They've just cut off the service to him, and they've done that very, very well in this first half. They'll be very pleased with their performance at the moment. England shouldn't be disappointed with theirs either. They've had good build-up, but they've just not been able to do anything with it. They've not been able to break down the defence so far. But the build-up play has been quite good.
There's been moments and flashes of brilliance, of course. They've had some joy down this right-hand side, but for all of the brilliance of Harry Kane, he's a player who can truly do everything on the ball. As Ghana win a free kick here, Elliot Anderson with another foul. It's difficult when you do come up against these low block teams and you are a striker who doesn't necessarily run in behind. I think we saw the same thing happen with Cristiano Ronaldo in the first game against DR Congo, where you can sort of just mark them out of the game. And when you haven't got the pace and power like you used to, of course, Kane is not as old as Ronaldo, but he's never had pace and power as some strikers. It's quite easy to freeze these strikers out. And if he's not getting the service and you're not having players like Madueke, Bellingham, or Anthony Gordon create opportunities for you, it's even more difficult to fashion an opportunity when you have 6-7 men in front of you.
Yeah, that's true. Kane is a predator as well in the box, really. He relies on the service. That's not to say he's not capable of beating players and scoring himself, but largely most of his goals are predatorial goals. I would say if I was in Tuchel's position and you were asking me, I would be looking at bringing on Bukayo Saka at half-time, just to add something, maybe something fresh, a little bit different.
I think so too, Paul. I think Madueke, I describe him as the most winger a winger can be, in the sense that he's brilliant at bringing the ball out wide, can drive that ball out of defence, but that final ball, or when he's in the final third, just trying to get that pass across, or sometimes even the finish. I know he scored some brilliant goals for Arsenal and even for England so far this season, but there's a level between him and a player like Bukayo Saka, who I think when you're coming up against a resolute and astute defence like you are in these Ghanaians here, Bukayo Saka has the talent to sort of dispel and get in behind and create an opportunity for England, which, as you mentioned, Harry Kane will be licking his lips and waiting for that to come.
Yeah, I think so. I just think it needs a little bit of a refresh. For Ghana, they'll be very, very happy because, look, the majority of the fans inside the stadium are England fans. And Ghana know, as probably does most of world football, that England fans can sometimes be pretty impatient. So if they can turn that crowd against England, they might have a chance.
That they could. And we've just seen the first yellow card of the game as Declan Rice picks it up after crashing into a Poku, who's just late on him there. The first yellow card administered. And you're right, England fans have to be patient. Of course, we had that brilliant win against Croatia in the first game. We have Daniel in the comments here who's mentioned that he doesn't think it's been a great first half for England, and he's surprised that we haven't got a goal or really had a good chance yet. And I just want to take a moment to speak about the second game for England at international tournaments recently. In Euro 2024, we had that game against Slovakia. But before I talk about that, here's an opportunity for Semenyo as he tries to get in, but it's well intercepted there as Declan Rice tries to clear it, and Elliot Anderson looking to get out, but Jordan Ayew's done well to hunt the ball down here, and he's back in possession with Ghana now as they look to get a goal before half-time. And couldn't that change the narrative if the Black Stars were able to do that? But England defend well. Elliot Anderson claims for the throw-in, but it's gone Ghana's way, and they'll be looking to get the ball in the box here, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, Ghana, they are a tough team. When Germany won the World Cup in 2014, they took on Ghana in their second game, and they struggled against them. They nearly lost. It took a late equaliser to get them back into the game. Ghana are a tough team, but they didn't qualify from the group stage themselves, Ghana, that year. So it's interesting. Sometimes when you're going through a tournament, you have to remember that it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Definitely so. And Ghana have their first corner of the half here. And you're right not to worry. Quickly go over. England drew 2-1 with Slovakia in that game in Euro 2024. A late Jude Bellingham overhead kick. At the last World Cup, they drew 0-0 with the USA in the second game. Euro 2021, of course, that 0-0 with Scotland. So the second game has always seemed to be somewhat of an issue for England at the tournament here, and Ghana will be looking to create more issues as they await for this corner to come in, with players lining up as the ball sailed in by Jordan Ayew here and cleared by England as this first half is almost winding down. And an interesting stat that I saw, Paul, was that of the 8 times that England have played African teams at the World Cup, they have never lost to them. They have won 5 and drawn 3.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's. I can't see that record lasting forever. African teams are getting so much better now. Since the World Cup in 1990, when Cameroon sort of sprung up, what we're starting to see is really quality players coming out of the continent of Africa, and you know, it's only going to be a matter of time before one of them puts together a side that may win the World Cup. It's not going to take long because they are producing some fantastic players.
That they are, of course. You have teams such as Senegal and Morocco, who at the last World Cup got to that semi-final, the furthest an African team ever have. And you're right, we're seeing so many more brilliant African teams come through. Ivory Coast or Côte d'Ivoire also went unbeaten in qualifying, but a long ball there for England as they win another corner. Jude Bellingham unable to get under control. And we're approaching 45 minutes here, and I think Ghana will be the happier of the two teams, Paul.
Oh yeah, I would say so. The plan has gone perfectly for them. No question about that. They've defended very, very well. They've held the shape very, very well against a very talented front line. They're going to be very happy with the way things have gone at half. And of course, as the second half gets underway, I suspect you'll start to see them try to press forward on the break, maybe looking to catch a winner.
That we will, expecting a much more open first half, but Declan Rice will be looking to get that opening goal here as he stands over the corner. The ball comes into the area now, cleared once again. Jordan Ayew, despite the bandage, getting his head to it, and that's the sort of valiant defending that Carlos Queiroz will be more than happy with in this first half as Jordan Pickford collects the ball now back in the English half here with possession. There are 46 minutes on the clock. You are listening to us live here on the Commentators Hub. Me, Alex Peters, alongside me is Paul James. Please subscribe. Please make sure that you like to the channel as we are closing the end of the first half here. So it's been quite uneventful, Paul, in reality. We've had a couple Declan Rice shots over the bar and a Declan Rice yellow card.
Yeah, I mean, England have not been able to break down the low block, and Ghana have been shy at breaking forward. So it's been one of those games that is not the most pleasant to watch, it has to be said. But obviously, we want to take the time. I want to personally take the time to thank everyone who's joined us for this and commented. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate you spending your Tuesday evening with us, or Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, wherever you might be in the world. We really appreciate it. And yeah, we hope the second half gets a little bit better for you.
That we do in England. Not able to make anything out of that opportunity there as the ball goes out of play for a Ghana free kick. But you're right, it's not been the most inspiring first half. Maybe we were treated a little bit too much in that opening game for England. But as you mentioned, you know, coming away with a point here or even better, 3 points would be massive. But it wouldn't be the end of the world, or certainly not the end of the tournament for England, if this game wasn't to end in victory.
No, it's really not. I think England just need to continue to be patient, and hopefully they'll be able to break them down, because once you get the one goal, that's when Ghana are going to have to come forward to try to get back into the game.
Yeah, and that's possibly what made the Croatia game free-flowing. Of course, you're facing slightly tougher opposition in Croatia, maybe on a technical level, whereas Ghana, a lot of these African teams will bring that physical prowess. However, Kane scoring that early penalty meant that Croatia had to go on the attack, and then they got that incredible goal. But here's Harry Kane now for England. Could he change the narrative? It's a blocked shot, and it's another corner for England there. And that was the first real opportunity for Harry Kane. But it's a great block from the Ghanaian defence once again.
Superb defending. This is what they've been doing in the whole first half. They're throwing their bodies on the line. They're blocking the shooting lanes and the passing lanes. And I've always said that that's what part of a good defensive side does. They block the shooting lanes. They block the passing lanes. They make it hard for the attacking team.
Certainly do. Adjete getting his foot across there as Declan Rice stands over the corner once again. You just saw both men going for the ball, trying to prevent that Harry Kane shot, and that's what Ghana will need. There's been some brilliant moments of defending here, and some more as they clear the corner from Declan Rice. There's 2 minutes remaining in this first half here in Boston at the Gillette Stadium. England with a throw-in now as Jed Spence looks to play the ball across. He looks bemused, looks like there's no options really as the ball comes back to Mark Gay on the halfway line, who finds Konsa. Konsa looking to drive the ball forward now. England looking to get any sort of opportunity before the end of the first half. Elliot Anderson now looking to drive the ball. And he's found Madweke there, who's managed to get the ball into the penalty area. Got an opportunity, but it's more brilliant defending from Ghana as they look to counter once again. Elliot Anderson gets the ball forward. It's ping pong here as the ball back with Ghana on the halfway line as it goes out for a throw-in. Woof.
Finally, a little bit of speed.
Honestly, it's good.
Yeah.
It's what we're hoping for in the second half.
Well, I can't help but think Tuchel will make that substitution at half-time. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think he should.
I agree with you, Paul. I will be coming for your thoughts on the unfortunately uneventful first half in a moment here as we enter the final minute of this first half. Ghana, if they could get a goal now, it would change the team talk for Thomas Tuchel. There may have to be another speech, but the ball comes back to Boku, so England won't be worrying too much yet. It looks like this half slowly winding down to a close. I think Ghana more than happy, of course, with their first half performance. England attempting to chase the ball, but looks like a foul may have been conceded there as the ball goes long for Ghana, looking to get in behind. And it's cleared there for a throw-in.
Interesting first half in the sense that if you are a football purist or a tactically minded individual, we've seen from Ghana some superb defending, an example of what is true defensive play. It's not so much parking the bus, but it's a low block, and it's a block that can break out quickly, and it shuts down the opposing attackers. For England, I think they have to approach the second half a little bit differently, Alex. They need to maybe change things up a little bit to see if they can break down this defence. Perhaps the answer is not trying to play through them, but to play over them with balls into the box and over the top.
Thank you, Paul. Yep. As mentioned, score 0-0 here at half-time. England unable to break down a valiant Ghanaian defence. They'll be more than happy with that first half performance, as there looks like there is some arguments happening towards the end of this first half here. We'll just stay with us for a moment as players from both sides are coming over, just trying to understand what might be going on here. Jude Bellingham, Noddy Madueke, Harry Kane involved as the pitches cut away. But as mentioned by Paul, yep, very uninspiring first half. Ghana more than happy with what has played out, whereas England obviously looking to break them down. So Thank you for taking the time with me and Paul. We, of course, will be back for the second half, but the score is currently England 0, Ghana 0.
If you look now, since the taking the need to be out now, and now that is the we need to rise into it's better very difficult to put that down, and it's done really well, to be fair to again here, England almost to and this time they go position what it's they would a little bit more to get to let's do here now if you look into that position, I'd like to see if you can see that square. I'd like to come in this position so that the ball does come wide to the work here. He can make the ball into the bounce block, but always to inside the pitch. Now when it's across the work here, so now Badwaki has to be more positive here, but when we need to recognize the duties in the position, it's the space and then really get through here. So I just think being positive with the runs, rounds a game. He's marked himself as doing better position, second right, we are now taking up and back. Let's make the pass. After watching this to show the Saints, let's positions
the Ghana team have only completed that 4 performances
Sure. I think what being said there as well. It's easy. It's about this position. So we really got the ball. It's always like the rules to be to do, actually, everyone frustrated, essentially.
She gets a reaction that prevents something in the blood of the camp, because that's what I'm going to do. Assistant, head coach, and it's talking to cancer. What's your message to the players? It's a difficult challenge, difficult opponent. The defensive team than we expected. They played against, it's really condensed, so it's going to continue with the Matchday.
Welcome back to the Commentary Hub. My name is Alex Peters. Alongside me is Paul James. The score here at the Gillette Stadium in Boston is currently England 0, Ghana 0. It was quite an uninspiring first half, to be honest with you. There was a lot of great defending from Ghana, very resolute. England unable to fashion an opportunity, and Declan Rice picking up the only yellow card of the game. In the build-up to the game, during the handshakes, we saw Jed Spence ignore Thomas Partey's handshake after, of course, he missed the first game after being denied entry into Canada. However, we've had some more breaking news, and France manager Didier Deschamps will not be at their final game against Norway, as his mother has unfortunately passed away. So very sad news, Paul, in what looks to be the last World Cup for Didier Deschamps.
Yeah, very sad for Didier Deschamps, a manager who has always carried himself with the utmost professionalism and skill. He's, of course, won the World Cup as both a player and a manager, and very few have done that. I'm sure I speak for everybody at the Commentary Hub in passing Didier all our best wishes for his friends, family, and all those that are around Didier Deschamps at this very difficult time. We wish you all the best from everyone here at the Commentary Hub.
That we do. Some very unfortunate news to receive at any point of life, especially during a World Cup. But Didier Deschamps will not be at that game against Norway. And more so focusing on this game here, we have the teams back in the tunnel. So Ghana, of course, very happy with how things are going at the moment. However, who on the bench would you be looking to bring on, Paul, for England before we see if any changes have been made?
Bukayo Saka, I think, would be one option. I might even look on the other side as well, because Anthony Gordon really hasn't made too much of a significant impact into this game. Perhaps looking at also Rashford maybe on that side. Maybe even changing up Bellingham and bringing on Morgan Rogers. But I think there does need to be some changes that's going to make a different impact on this Ghanaian side. For Ghana, of course, well, they don't really need to do a great deal. They're doing everything at the moment. I suspect I suspect Carlos Queiroz said to them, "Same again, please, lads."
Of course, yes. 73-year-old Carlos Queiroz came in 2 months ago, but wouldn't know that from the first half performance. They look like a unit, Ghana. They're happy to move from left to right and just not give England any opportunities, as the second half looks like it's almost about to be underway. It doesn't look like there's been any changes either side as we wait for kickoff to recommence here. So you are listening to me, Alex Peters. Alongside me is Paul James here on the Commentary Hub. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Please give the video a like. All helps out the channel massively. We'll look through the comments. Thank you for everybody who's viewing today and taking the time. We have Daniel who's mentioned that Ghana played quite well in the first half, and as me and Paul have discussed, defended resolutely. So second half nearly underway here. How do you expect England to start here, Paul?
Well, there doesn't appear to have been any changes. It's difficult. I think they need to approach the game differently. Certainly differently than what they were doing in the first half, because it just wasn't working. So I think they may try some higher balls into the box rather than trying to play the ball on the deck and do it that way.
Agreed. And Declan Rice with a missed kick there as the ball goes out for the first Ghanaian throw of this second half here at Gillette Stadium in Boston. We've had some light rain on and off, some conditions which England will be more familiar with than the heat. But of course, if you are in the UK, you'll be familiar with the heat the last couple of days. Probably what the England players have been acclimatizing to since they've been out in the States. Of course, they've had their base in Kansas, the soccer city, as they call it. They got used to the conditions out here in the States. So here's the ball now. Reece James finds in England. starting this second half as they finished it with the ball in possession of the defenders.
Yep, expect that to continue for England. They'll continue to do that, and Ghana will continue to try to frustrate England further, maybe force them into taking some careless risks, and maybe getting a goal themselves.
Well, inversely, Paul, where do you think the counter-attacking threat primarily comes from for Ghana, as we've just seen Gordon be brought down here for a free kick for England?
Well, there's the captain, Caleb Urinki. He is very quick. Inaki Williams, and of course Semenyo. Urinki is 20 years old. He's a captain, and he's done some amazing stuff. He's a product of the famed Right to Dream Academy. Urinki has developed rapidly at the Danish Super League club FC Nordsjælland, if I pronounce that right. He's earned the Danish Super League Young Player of the Year in 2025 and 26. He's got a tireless work ethic and a physical presence that could help break that England midfield down and create counter-attacks. He's been compared, really, to legendary Ghanaian midfielder Michael Essien in the past as well.
Michael Essien famously scored that brilliant goal against your beloved Arsenal, Paul.
Yes, don't remind me about that. Let's not talk about that. We're not going to talk about Arsenal today.
I apologise. The first thing that comes to mind when I hear the great Michael Essien as Ghana look to create some more greatness here. But you're right, that's some great research, Paul. Prep Paul as a new nickname, which I'm thinking of now. Speaking about Urinki.
Well, apparently all but the England assistant manager's name is the only problem.
Hey, don't you worry. We all have slight gaps in our knowledge. Some more than others, but it's England now. As Bellingham tries to drive that ball forward. But I think you're right in the substitutions that you suggested. I think Bukayo Saka definitely would create an impact. And then, because you would want Saka on that right side, you would then put Rashford on the left if you were to bring him on. But they were speaking about Rashford coming on that right side at half-time and what he could bring. As you saw, Madueke, the couple opportunities he did get when he was breaking down and running at defenders and getting past them and getting into those areas. And we saw the brilliance of a player like Marcus Rashford in the last game when he got the 4th goal for England.
Yeah, that's right. I just don't think it's been Anthony Gordon's day. He's been physically muscled out big time today, really, out of the play. And of course, they've got on that right-hand side, they've got Marvin Senya. So it's big guys, just muscled Anthony Gordon out of play for much of this game so far, really.
Marvin Senya there with brilliant opportunity for Ghana, arguably their best of the game as the ball came down. He just took a touch and wild defending there from England, but Ghana with an opportunity as Anthony Gordon, as you mentioned, just unable to get onto the end of that pass. And even when his pace isn't playing to his advantage, it's been a tough watch for Gordon and tough ass this afternoon here in Boston. As I'm just watching the opportunity there again, as you mentioned, he's just easily out-muscled there, and it's not been his game. And what Rashford will bring is that bit more strength, and of course he has experience at this level previously, as a long ball was sent there from Ghana as Madueke tries to get it under control. And it's some brilliant defending there from Mensah as the ball runs out of play again. Some light rain still coming down here as Carlos Queiroz considering what tactical tweaks to make for Ghana. And if we just take a moment to look through their bench, they have Brandon Thomas Asante, formerly of West Brom, of course has that championship experience. He got an assist for that goal for Urinki, of course. And then you look at some of the other players that are on this team.
Fatawu, who was at Leicester last season.
Took it right out my mouth.
Yeah, oh, well, excuse me.
No, of course. Please. As we mentioned, Prep Paul, he's so prepped, he even knows which players I'm going to mention before I even get a chance to say them. Just
call me Mystic Paul.
It's the level of research that we bring to you here on the commentary hub. As mentioned before, my name is Alex Peters. Alongside me is Paul James. If you could subscribe, if you could like the video, everything helps out massively, as we are on the 51st minute here, I should say. The score being England 0 and Ghana 0, as Thomas Tuchel looks out, takes a sip of his water, considering what changes to this England side he could make. Of course, the changes he made in the Croatia game were so aggressive with the game at 2-2, and we're looking for more of the same here, as another loose pass for Madueke. And I think the change in that left and right wing is coming any second, Paul.
I don't think he can leave it much past the hour mark if he does make that change. I don't think he wants to leave it much past the hour mark, but that's just my guess. I just don't think at the moment the wingers are getting the job done right now. They're struggling. If you're looking to take a different approach to this game, you have to look at getting different types of players in there that can cause confusion in that defence.
That you can, and for all their brilliance in the first game, they played great in the first half, Madueke and Gordon. You're right, it's just not been their game today, as Anderson does well to block another cross there as Semenyo tries to get the ball in, and Semenyo will be more than happy sort of playing this outlier role as he waits for the counters. And England back in possession now. Madueke battling there with Semenyo, who gives a foul away. Or something else has happened here. Something else caught the referee's attention. We're just trying to understand what that might be.
Not sure what
Players
that
come
is.
away. I'm trying to make sense of it myself. I believe the ball may have just gone out of play, but he left it a while to call that. So we have a Ghana corner here, the first of the second half. As the ball comes in now, Jordan Ayew. And it just bounces around. There's just no one onto it. And there was a real opportunity there for Ghana. As a long ball comes back in, Pickford, he's not claimed it, but he has been fouled. And it's a free kick on the goalkeeper.
Foul? Goodness me, Alex. Fouled? He was bulldozed.
Just about to see a replay here. Oh, he was flattened.
They disallowed the Germany goal the other day for less than that.
From where I'm watching, it just didn't seem as much of an impact. But yeah, watching that on replay, Jordan Pickford was sent for a spin there.
Yeah, it was. I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness me.
It was a fairground ride. And here we go. Ball back in possession now with Declan Rice in the midfield. We approach 54 minutes here. The score still England 0, Ghana 0. Elliot Anderson now picks up the ball. And just thinking about the England midfield, if you would make any changes there, of course. We mentioned about the players earlier. You've spoken about Morgan Rogers coming on. Whereas England have an opportunity here, and is that Bellingham who goes down? Referee not interested, waved away as Ghana clear the ball back upfield. But England back in possession now. Elliot Anderson looking to run in, and he's brought down. And this could potentially be a yellow card. See what? No.
No, I don't
Looks
think
like
so. Neither do I think that was a penalty either. I don't think there was a deliberate intent to impede the player there. No appeals hardly from the England team either. That's usually a good indication.
And it is Bellingham. Somewhat just threw himself into the defender as a loose ball goes out for a Ghana goal kick here. And Asare, as we mentioned, really hasn't had a lot to do at all, to be honest with you. A couple shots over his bar, but as we mentioned, he's still yet to make a save.
Yeah, they've just defended so well. I mean, this is just a classic example of old school defending. And you take a look at the Italian teams of years gone by, and it reminds me a little bit of them. Now, they're not breaking out like the Italian teams did, but my goodness me, they know how to shut opposition down.
That's right, and that was always the threat when coming up against this Ghanaian squad. When I saw England's group announced, you obviously look at that Panama game, it's possibly the 3 points, which may be the easiest. Of course, no 3 points are easy in the World Cup, even in this expanded 48 tournament, unless you're playing, of course, against Tunisia. Sorry, if we have anyone through Tunisia listening to the comments, but it's been a dreadful World Cup campaign for them. But Ghana, of course, getting that 1-0 win and currently drawing with England, who are considered one of the favourites, Paul.
Yeah, you see, this is another thing as well. We've just seen this in the World Cup. Teams struggle against that low block. And Spain also, even with the talent they've got. And you look at that midfield, that midfield for Spain, it's amongst the best in the world. They weren't able to break down Cape Verde, except it's not quite as bad as this. They were able to break them down and force some saves from the goalkeeper, but for the large part, they were shut down, really.
That they were. Some brilliant performances and some brilliance here from England as they've put together a nice string of passes. Madueke managed to get a shot, but it was blocked from Apoku again, and then Gordon managed to get the first shot on goal. So Asari has now made a save. England have had their first shot on target, 57 minutes on the clock as Jordan Ayew commits a foul.
Yeah, it's surprising it's taken that long.
It really has, especially after the onslaught that we saw in the second half against Croatia, where the keeper Luvkovic did exceptionally well to keep the scoreline down in that moment. But England will be hoping for a similar onslaught here if they're looking to beat this resolute Ghanaian defence. And Asari, as the ball comes in, Declan Rice here just manages to get it back out to Kane, who finds Jed Spence, looks to whip in the ball. Madueke looking to collect it now, looking to bundle it over as the ball doesn't go out for a corner, but England have a throw in a threatening position. Madueke has got the game quickly restarted now, some pace to the game. England looking to make an impact here. Still no substitutions yet, but Declan Rice gets bundled off of the ball, and Ghana now have an opportunity as they release Inaki Williams, he just waits for backup, and here comes the ball, and there's a foul. No foul given by the referees, not interested, and it's end-to-end here now. Thought the Ghanaian was looking for it. Anthony Gordon with the ball as he's looking to attack down this left side. He has Bellingham on the other outside of him, but it's bundled over and it's out and throwing, and some action here, Paul.
Yeah, just to point out a point that we made earlier, you see how quick the English defence got back there in challenging the Ghanaian breakout. Williams there, very fast, getting away, but England's defence got back very, very quickly to stop that attack. So it's in that respect, he was definitely right to make those changes defensively. Let's see if England, though, can... All it's going to take is one for England. That's all it'll take.
Definitely. Just a moment of brilliance is what Thomas Tuchel will be hoping for. And that's what he spoke about in the pre-match conference of why he brought a player like Jed Spence in. He recognised that Ghana, who like to control the midfield, they're obviously set up in that low block. They will be looking to get in behind England on that counter. And that was the first real counter opportunity here. And I think we have Anthony Gordon down. I'm not sure what's been given, but it's going to take just one for England. And I think if England are to get it, it's going to take something brilliant like that Jude Bellingham overhead kick in the last minute in the last tournament. As I think Anthony Gordon has won a foul here as studs have been brought down his Achilles.
Nasty.
Definitely hurts.
Yellow card, that.
That it is. He's picked up the second booking of the game there, Inaki Williams. Looking to track back and do some defending, but conceded a free kick in the process. And Declan Rice, all too familiar, stands over the ball as England will be looking to make the most of the opportunity now. We have just crossed the 60-minute mark. We are 2/3 into the game. Declan Rice with the ball. It's a long ball. Elliot Anderson unable to get anything out of it, and England have won a corner. He's just got his head to that, Paul.
Yeah, he just couldn't get his head over to that. But look at, again, let's take a stop for a moment just to look at the amount of Ghanaian defenders that are lined up on that 6-yard line. It's like a skirmish line. You can't break it down. They blocked just about everything.
Truly have. For every England shot, you've had 2-3 men diving in, trying to get in front of it. And Declan Rice with another opportunity here now. And to unlock this Ghanaian defence, you think it will come from a corner or from a bit of brilliance from a free kick or maybe a long-range strike. But Ghana, as we enter the final third of this match, more than happy with how things are going so far as Anderson wins his head to the ball again, but this time it's over and it's out for a Ghana goal kick.
Yeah, again, you see the amount of players that are lined up there. It's almost impossible. You get the header in, it's blocked. Even if it's not completely blocked, it goes behind for another corner, and we go through the same thing again. The goalkeeper is being very underworked right now. He's only had to face the one shot, of course, which was right at him. But they're doing. They've just got it down to a T of Ghana at the moment.
That they have. So, in Thomas Tuchel's position, what do you think you change, Paul? As you, of course, as we mentioned, have players like Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice. They are Premier League winners, Champions League finalists, who are so used to coming up against this opposition. As Harry Kane is fouled there, it's a nasty challenge, and England have a free kick on the outside of the box.
Yeah, that was a late one too, to be honest. It's not dealt with properly by the referee.
Doesn't look like it has. There's no card here, but initially looked like one of the
changes have to be made, Alex. Changes have to be made. And I can see now O'Reilly is coming on. And there's another England player coming on there as well, I think, there is action on the England bench right now.
What a lot of fans will be wanting to hear, albeit O'Reilly will be an interesting pick, whether or not he'll come on for Spence, but I'd be bemused if Spence was to be taken off at this point for a tactical reason, as you would have thought he would have been there to combat the Ghanaian counter-attacks, which you think you would see more of as the game goes on. But here's Declan Rice with the ball into the box, and once again cleared, but the ball comes back in. It's big ball here, and it's hit over the bar by Madueke, and it's really not been his day today.
No, it's not. And it looks like also there's action on the Ghanaian bench as well. Prince Kawambina Abu is coming on. Plays his football at Victorian Plzen in the Czech Republic, but Bukayo Saka is the other English player coming on.
And that change that you wanted, Paul, Bukayo Saka coming on. Who he comes on for, still to be seen, of course, but some changes to the game. Hopefully can add some life to it as Ghana win a free kick once again.
I just wonder whether O'Reilly will fit into the midfield.
That's what I was wondering too, whether or not you would see possibly Rice come off again, as he did come off early against Croatia, of course, as a precaution, but starting and playing 65 minutes, or whether or not you would see Anderson come off. But here we are. Looks like we're going to see the first Ghana change, as O'Reilly and Saka also step up, ready to come onto the pitch for England.
Although I am shocked. It is Jed Spence.
Jed Spence coming off for Nico
And
O'Reilly.
Anthony Gordon.
And Anthony Gordon, as we mentioned. Very surprising to see Jed Spence off. I'd be surprised if that was purely based for tactical reasons, because as you just mentioned with the Inaki Williams counter, how quickly England were able to get back there. He's not the slowest Nico O'Reilly, but he's certainly not the fastest.
No. Fatwa and Kawabena Abu coming on for Ghana by the looks of it.
And it does. And just taking a moment to look at the comments while we're waiting for these substitutions to unfold. We have Mike Harneman, of course. I could curse to say his second name wrong after our last broadcast together for the France and Senegal game. But evening, Mike, good to hear from you. I think we need a change on the right. Yep, he's vying for Saka as well. Mentions about Eze possibly coming onto the pitch. It'd be interesting where you would put Eze, because I think I would rather have Rashford on the right now that Gordon is off the pitch. And then I would also rather have Rodgers through the centre if Bellingham was to come off.
Yeah, that's right. I agree with you there entirely. I think Eze might be. I don't know if you're gonna bring Eze on at this point, you're probably gonna put him either down the right or in the number 10 role.
Definitely so, and I feel he's at his most effective in that 10 role. But Jude Bellingham, who had a brilliant second half against Croatia, he came flying out with the blocks, getting that third goal. He's been unable to make a real impact on this game so far. He had that light penalty shout, of course, at the start, but outside of that, it's not been the usual brilliance that we've become accustomed to from the Real Madrid man. But here's Ghana now as Pickford comes out, and it looks like England have got a free kick here as players rush over, as there's a collision between the goalkeeper and the Ghanaian number 25.
It looks like the substitute there for Ghana, Kawabena Abu, just jumped into Pickford. I think the decision is the right one there.
Yeah, it looks like he was just too keen from the replays to try and get to the ball, but in a World Cup game when you could potentially get a goal against one of the best sides there in England, of course, you'd be remiss if you weren't try and poke a leg out and get a goal. Look at some of the reactions from the Ghanaian fans. But both players back to their feet as England get the game restarted here, as there's 68 minutes on the clock with the score still 0-0 here at the Gillette Stadium. My name is Alex Peters. Alongside me is Paul James, and you are listening to us on the Commentators Hub. Thank you for joining us and taking your time to watch this game with us, of course. Make sure you like and make sure you subscribe. And here come England on the attack once again. Mark Gay plays the ball out wide. Reece James, the ball now. So the ball comes back down to Gay into Anderson. Anderson looking to poke it through, but it's just more brilliant defending. The ball comes back. Here's Harry Kane now. And his first shot on target goes into the hands of Benjamin Asari.
An easy save for Vasari, but I think you do have to give a bit of credit to Harry Kane here. I think England, if they're not able to break Ghana down like this, maybe try a few shots from distance. They've got players that can do it. They've got players that can score from long distance. So perhaps this is the way forward.
Certainly do. The players more than capable striking a ball from range. And you're right, when you're unable to break down a defence or a back line, like they've been unable to do so far today with Ghana, times start getting a bit more desperate. They, of course, have more firepower on the bench to turn to if needed. Morgan Rogers, Marcus Rashford, Ollie Watkins, as we mentioned, Eberechi Eze, of course, but Bukayo Saka now looking to make his first impact on the game as the ball comes back out, and England just hovering outside of this area. Elliot Anderson, some quick passes now from England, looking to get the ball moving, try and muddle this Ghanaian defence. Nico O'Reilly with his first few touches. The ball comes back out wide now. Noddy Madueke looking to drive in now, playing on this left-hand side. The ball comes in, and a header over, and it's Bukayo Saka, and the ball over the bar once again, Paul.
Yeah, which isn't great, but you know what? At least England are now starting to create chances, are now starting to create efforts towards the goal. It's the ball into the boxes to the taller guys is going to be able to give an extra outlet for England as well.
That it will, and we have the second hydration break of the game underway as we've reached the 70th minute mark. So any more thoughts on that, Paul?
No, I've no more thoughts on it. I mean, it's always this whole World Cup, everything. It just I totally agree with Thomas Tuchel. It completely disrupts the flow of the game, and it's there for one reason and one reason only, and we all know what that is. If they want to make players' safety and players' well-being a priority, Why don't they end the season early before a World Cup? Why are they considering 64 teams in the next World Cup? It's got nothing to do with player well-being at all. It never has been. It's always to do with money. Same with the amount of games played during the season. Why would you have 3 European leagues if you're thinking of cutting it down for players? Why not go back to 2 legs? Why not the Champions League for only the champions of that country if you're going to call it a Champions League? I prefer the European Cup. A round-robin knockout tournament over 2 legs. Why don't they do that? Why don't they bring back the Cup Winners' Cup and the UEFA Cup for the same reason? Why is it that they talk about this narrative only when it suits them, when they want to make money?
Brilliant points made, Paul. I fully agree with you. It's almost offensive that FIFA and other broadcasters involved will hide it under the guise or under the mask of player welfare and trying to protect the players, and then simultaneously sign them up for a record-breaking amount of games in the next following seasons. As the games keep expanding, the tournaments keep expanding, but the attention and care for player welfare and ensuring that these injuries aren't happening is ever much decreasing, and you're seeing more injuries. And of course, some managers have came out and questioned the quality of the surface, especially this one. Didier Deschamps himself questioned the surface after his French team played here against Senegal. And the more fixtures that you put in with the less time for recovery, the less we're going to see our favourite players and the most talented players in the game due to the complete ignorance of avoiding playing welfare, Paul.
Well, exactly. I used to... I was so looking forward to see Leonard Carl for Germany this summer. I was so looking forward to it. And I was gutted when he was injured. Gutted.
Me too. He's brilliant talent. He burst onto the scene from Bayern this season, and for him to miss this World Cup, of course, you've seen Lamine Yamal returning from injury as well. He got his goal against Saudi Arabia the other day, but we've got some substitutes here for England, and Mike will be getting his ask as Eberechi Eze joins the field. Elliot Anderson's come off, so you expect to see some movement. And more interestingly, Jude Bellingham is off the pitch as Morgan Rogers has entered the fold. So some of the substitutions we've asked for there, Paul.
Yeah, I think bringing on Morgan Rogers is a good idea. I think Eze adds a bit extra in that holding midfield role, as he can get forward a lot, and he's capable of scoring goals. He's also capable of scoring from outside the penalty area. I think it's. I have no qualms at all with that substitution from Thomas Tuchel. I think it's probably the right move under the circumstances.
Fully agreed, and hopefully that can inject some quality into this England performance, which we are unfortunately yet to see. To be honest, there's been a few half chances, a few glimpses of that brilliance we saw in the first game, but England unlucky and unfortunate not to capitalise on any of the opportunities they've had so far. But they're just playing this ball on the outside again. The Ghanaian players all behind the ball, all doggedly defending, just watching, waiting for England to try and strike so they can make that counter. And as we mentioned, Jed Spence now off the pitch, so that back line looking a little bit more vulnerable, Paul.
Yeah, I actually think, maybe if England can just get the one, they'll be in a stronger position. They'll be in a better position. It'll force Ghana to come out of their shell a little bit. It'll force them to come forward. The difficulty is, and the challenge is breaking this defence down in order to get the one that you want.
That it is, but time is running out for the Three Lions here, but they have got another corner. So Declan Rice still on the pitch. He'll be looking to make an impact here now as Morgan Rogers in the box. Wouldn't he love to get a touch here and change the game, change the narrative for England? And Declan Rice standing over it at the moment as the ball comes in. It's cleared. Ghana. Madueke trying to make something. Ball runs out of play again. Will it be another England corner? It will not, and it is a Ghanaian goal kick. Madueke done well to still be on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I think Madueke, a lot of Arsenal fans were very critical of the signing of Madueke. I wasn't. I felt he had something he could offer Arsenal, and he has. I think he's very quick. He's very pacey down that side. He also scores goals. So I was quite happy with the Madueke signing. No doubt he'll be back next season doing the same thing again. Mike says Rodgers is likely to sign for Arsenal. That would be a very, very good signing, especially seeing as though we have had to deal with an inconsistent Zubamendi in that number 10 role.
Very true. I don't have many premonitions. We've just got a Ghana player off the ball injured here, so a slight break. I don't have many transfer premonitions, Paul, but the one that I do, if I had to call one transfer this summer, I don't know why, but I just see Morgan Rodgers go into Arsenal as a formality almost. I think that would be a great addition to your side, especially off the back of winning the league last season.
It's the right thing to do, Alex. The right thing to do.
They'd just be hoping that Arsenal get it done. He's a brilliant player, and hopefully we can see some of that at this 2026 World Cup for England. But it's a Ghana free kick here, about to be taken by the goalkeeper. They look to kick the ball long. The Black Stars very happy with this performance so far as we approach the 78th minute mark here. Ghana clear the ball once more, as they have done so this entire game, and you'll just start to feel some frustration seeping in here for England, albeit they know it's not the end of the tournament, not the end of the road if they weren't to come away with the victory here today. But the longer the game goes on, the longer they leave themselves open and vulnerable to a possible Ghana goal.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. The way I look at this, oh my. The way I look at this is I can only see England, if they do concede, I think it will be extremely difficult to get back into the game.
And here we go now. This could be the opportunity. And here is Ghana, the substitute. And that could be a penalty as the goal, as it's cleared. And there'll be questions here. The offside flag is up. But England in a spot of bother there was questions of a foul, but Ghana, as we mentioned, that threat from the counter and what they could offer. Will he be offside? It looks like it may go to VAR, and then there will be questions about a possible penalty too, because all sorts going on in the box there, Paul.
That's not offside. That's not offside, and that should be a penalty. Looking at the replay, you can see he's not offside. And you can also see that no contact was made with the ball. Now, whether the referee thinks that and VAR think that there's been enough contact for him to go over, that's another matter. That's something that the referee and VAR will have to decide. But I, in my opinion, that should be a penalty.
There we are. Controversial decision as the referee waves play on, and I would love to see a replay on that, Paul, because I agree with you. From the initial replay, it did look like he was onside, and then the consequential foul that came with it. Looks like England may have got away with one there, especially so late on the game, but that is the threat that Ghana offer, especially on the counter there, which England, there's been a couple chances like that for Ghana, but that was the real first time that they managed to get in behind, and look at the danger they almost caused, Paul.
Yeah, and you know what? They took off Jed Spence, didn't they? We spoke about that.
That we did, and we thought it was a very questionable decision by Thomas Tuchel, but here's England now as they look to change the narrative of this fixture once again. And an offside flag given up. I've just had a moment to look at the comments. We have Stuart, who has commented that he's a Brit here listening on his packed commuter train into Tokyo. Says that we are great, and thank you from Japan. Well, thank you very much, Stuart, for your kind comment.
Yeah, please like and subscribe, Stuart. Thank you very much for that. We'd certainly appreciate your support. It's free to like and subscribe, so please do that. We are hoping to bring more games to you, but we just want to grow the channel and we want to get more people so that we can do that for you. Also, you are so lucky to be in Japan. I would love to go on one of those fast trains in Japan. I'm jealous. You know, the ones that go like 180 miles per hour, like right across the country. I want to go on one of them.
Me and you both, the bullet trains.
The bullet trains, that's the one.
That's it. And England will be hoping for a bullet themselves if they are looking to win this game. As Matchday now looks to drive in on the defence. So we're into the final 10 minutes here. 81 minutes on the clock. The score is England 0, Ghana 0. As Paul just mentioned, if you could subscribe to us here on the Commentators Hub, we will be bringing you more games throughout the World Cup. Me, Paul, and all the other commentators on our wonderful channel. So please make sure that you subscribe and make sure that you like if you haven't already, as it looks like England have picked up another free kick here just on the outside of the Ghanaian box. But if it's anything like it's gone before, Paul, you would expect Ghana to clear this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, England look void of ideas at this time. You can see the fans here as well in this World Cup. They're very much mixed. There's no separate. The fans are all together. I think that's a good idea, and I can see that everybody's kind of getting along very nicely as well.
That's it, and it's what we like to see. There's been so many brilliant moments at this World Cup, which displays the brilliance of human interaction and what football can do when it brings fans together from all over the world. We saw some brilliant moments from the Mexico, South Korea fans, but the ball comes in here for England, which we've seen another brilliant bit of defending from Ghana, and they've done well to win a foul there, and they'll be taking as much time as the referee permits to get this play restarted.
Yeah, they're doing very well. You just can't take it away from them. They've just been so smart defensively. They've structured their setup. Obviously, they've done their research on England. They've done their preparations on England. They just seem one step ahead of them the whole way in this game in terms of defence versus attack.
They really have, and it was the game that England expected to be faced with. Marcus Rashford now coming onto the pitch for Noni Madueke, a substitution that both me and Paul thought was in the running as he's come on, and he'll be looking to make an impact down this right-hand side. Let's hope we were correct about that, as we were with Ghana getting in on this right-hand side once the defence had come off the pitch. And here's Rashford now as he's found Nico O'Reilly. Nico O'Reilly now getting into the area. More brilliant defending from the Ghanaians, and it has been a great defensive performance from them. A game for the football purists and the tactical lovers who will be watching this Ghanaian defensive performance and will be enjoying every second of it. So soon we will have the man of the match from Paul James, but England will be looking for a match winner in this moment. As we mentioned, Jude Bellingham, who previously did that against Slovakia, he is no longer on the pitch. So England will be looking for someone new to step up, as Marcus Rashford has the ball on the outside of the area. He tries to fizz a ball in there, but it doesn't beat the first man. Nico O'Reilly trying to win it back here as Marcus Rashford concedes the foul, and Ghana have another free kick in their defensive half.
Yeah, again, it's been pretty much the same thing over and over. Defending very, very well and making it very, very difficult for England. And England doesn't seem to have a plan B in this. At least not at the moment.
They don't. With Marcus Rashford coming onto the pitch, as we mentioned, seen Saka, Rodgers, Eze also joined the fray. You would think that any one of these players would be the plan B, but with all the substitutions and the change of personnel, England almost look identical to how they've been playing the entire game.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not been a lot of changes. Not really in the way that they've played, and it's just like they haven't had a plan B option in this game.
Really haven't. So Marcus Rashford attempts to get the ball in, and it's cleared once again. Rice gets that ball back out to Bukayo Saka. Will be looking to make an impact. Bukayo Saka! Brilliant save from Asari as he gets a strong hand to it, and that has been England's best chance of the game so far. 85 minutes on the clock. Bukayo Saka doing what he does best, cutting in from the inside and just getting a shot off, and that's something that Paul will be more than familiar with. But here's Marcus Rashford, Elliot Anderson now, and England trying to get an opportunity. Here's an onslaught now, and it's off the bar, and it's Harry Kane! Oh, over the bar!
My goodness me, that is shocking. That is shocking. That is inexcusable. Inexcusable. How do you miss from there? Explain that to me. How do you miss from there, Alex? Like, that is inexcusable.
I wish I could find the word, Paul, but 81 goals, England's all-time leading goal scorer, blazes it over the bar, and that wasn't a professional finish, Paul. I don't know what we've just seen.
That was miserable. That was miserable. There's no other word for it. It was absolutely miserable. That was a horrible finish.
Agreed. It's been symptomatic of the game as a whole, as England have been wasteful in their opportunities. They've really not made the most of it, as we see another opportunity here for Ghana. We have Opping coming onto the pitch for Sanaya, and it's very frustrating from Thomas Tuchel's perspective, as England are making these opportunities now. However, we are just not taking them.
It's also a little too late, really. You know, it's a couple of cents short of a dime. It's not there for England. You know, they're coming up and doing this now. The ball should have been being played into the box at height much earlier in the game. We both spoke about it, and England wasn't doing that, and it's been easy for Ghana in the sense that they've been able to defend easily because England keep trying to play through them, so it's predictable.
That it is. England have just played into Ghana's hands here, as Ghana now looking to cause further damage to this England World Cup campaign and possibly nick the victory. But Declan Rice does well to get back there as the Ghanaians bundle over, trying to get the ball back. So there's 88 minutes on the clock here. The score is England 0, Ghana 0. You are listening to us live on the Commentators Hub. My name is Alex Peters. Alongside me is Paul James. And make sure you make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, as we will be bringing you more, hopefully engaging games throughout the World Cup. Mike has mentioned in the chat how when we did France and Senegal, I was hoping for no 0-0s. Kylian Mbappe and co made sure that didn't happen. But if things don't change here, Paul, it looks like England might be playing out a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, I'm just looking again at that miss. 6 yards out, Alex. 6 yards out. Seemed harder to miss than it did to score.
And that would be the last player on the pitch you would expect.
You could have scored that.
And honestly, I've got the footballing ability of a poppadom, so tells you everything you need to know about that opportunity for Harry Kane. So Nico O'Reilly does so well to get his head. He may even need to do better, to be honest. Now I'm watching it again, it just comes off the underside of the bar. And Harry Kane, oof, blazes it over. But while we wait for the ball to come back into play, I think that it was. So we'll move on to the man of the match in just a moment, as Ghana have an attack here. Semenyo blazes it over, and it will be an England goal kick. So, Paul, who's your man of the match today?
Well, I wanted to give it to a Ghanaian player, but they've all done so incredibly well collectively as a unit, and I doubt very much I'll get away with giving it to the entire Ghanaian team. So I'm going to choose Declan Rice for England, and I think he's been England's best player. And passing accuracy, you see there, 92%. For everything England's tried to create, he's been a lot of what in the centre of that. So today's man of the match, as sponsored by Football Live, goes to England's number 4, Declan Rice.
We are, thank you, Paul. Declan Rice, of course, been trying to break down this Ghanaian defence, but as you mentioned, a brilliant performance overall. They have played as a unit, not as one, and they have been incredibly disciplined in getting what would be a great draw here. As the ball goes out, it's another England corner, and this will be where they'll be hoping for a flick, a poke, or any opportunity to try and get a winning goal here, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's not a disaster for England if they don't get the winner, which is looking less and less likely that they will. But it's not going to be a disaster for England if they don't. It's obviously not the result they wanted, but at the end of the day, they've still only got Panama to play in the last game. They should beat them, and that would top them the group.
That you would expect as the ball comes in and misses everybody once again. And Ghana will just be happy for that clock to run down. As we approach the 92nd minute, we have 6 minutes added on here at Gillette Stadium in Boston, as England are currently playing out a 0-0 draw with Ghana. And looks like England might have used up all the goals in the first game. But as mentioned, of course, they will be playing Panama, as that's Saturday at 10 p.m. A game which you would very much expect England to win. And Croatia was never going to be an easy game, but personally, Paul, I always looked at this as England's toughest game, as coming up against any African side in the World Cup, despite their record against them, can always provide a challenge. I think you think back to games such as Cameroon, of course.
Yeah, I think for England, it's always, for any country, it's always going to be difficult coming up against an African team, because, like I said, they are getting better and better. Defensively, Ghana has shown today, I mean, coaches all over the Premier League should look at this, especially coaches for newly promoted teams, that this may be the approach that some of them need to take if they want to keep their team in the league. It's a very good setup.
That it is, and we have seen that today, and we've seen arguably the best bit of defending as the ball was cleared off the line. Mark Gay unable to convert that for England, and it's another corner here as Declan Rice lines up another one. England are threatening Asari's goal, and they're trying to hold on here. A brilliant punch from the keeper, who's done well this second half. He didn't have a lot to do in the first, but when called upon in this second half, he's produced a couple big saves, clearing the ball there. Jed Spence with the ball out on the far side, and England, they'll be looking to get this ball into the area.
I just wonder the reaction of, perhaps, I know there's, I may go on YouTube after the game, Alex, and gauge the reaction, because I know there'll be some people with knee-jerk reactions.
As you mentioned, it's unfortunately one of the byproducts of being an England fan, when you have the nation supporting you. The increase in overreactions and knee-jerk reactions definitely goes up. But here's England now looking to change that. I'm sure a late goal would change things, but a corner has been given. So there's 2 minutes remaining of stoppage time. Can England do it? It's not been looking likely so far, but as mentioned by Paul, it would not be the worst case in the world if they weren't to win this one. Of course, they still have the game against Panama, but Declan Rice looking to take this corner now. Here we go. Referee just sorting a couple final things in the box. Nico O'Reilly, Mark Gay will be looking to get his head onto the ball again. Harry Kane, of course, will be looking, as we're just waiting for the Ghanaian player to return to the pitch. So we wait for Declan Rice's corner to come in once again. Here come England. Declan Rice. And the story that's all so familiar is Ghana have defended well again, and it's that man, Thomas Partey, back in the lineup after being denied entry to Canada. He's back in the side, and he has helped his side to what would be an incredible point in the game. So Ghana still yet to concede a goal at this World Cup, and after this performance, I can understand why, Paul.
Yeah, Croatia will have trouble breaking them down as well. It's been a really solid performance today by Ghana. They deserve the point that they've got, definitely, without any argument from me. That was a very, very good performance by Ghana.
That it was. And Declan Rice here with the ball. With Mark Gay as we approach the final few seconds here. Jordan Pickford looking to send the ball long. Can he find Marcus Rashford? He cannot. And the referee looks to blow any moment now. Looks like an offside's been given. And that looks like it might be the end of the game. And that it is. And the score finishes 0-0 here in Boston. Ghana, who have defended valiantly, get the point, and they are more than deserving of it. And just like Qatar 2022, England draw their second group game 0-0. It's been an uninspiring game. There weren't many opportunities for England, albeit in the last few moments. Nico O'Reilly managed to hit the bar. Mark Gay had an opportunity from a corner as well. But in open play, England were drab. England could not create. They could not break down the Ghanaian back line. And they will not be completely down and out about this performance. But Thomas Tuchel will not be impressed.
No, certainly won't. And I can certainly see attest to that, why that might be. Obviously, I don't think Thomas Tuchel really had a plan B in the style of play. Obviously, he made changes to the lineup, but I don't think in terms of what he had, that he had anything really to work with there. To be honest, he had to change the style. He had to change the style of play, and he didn't do that. I don't think he had a plan B to work with.
He did not, no. He used all 5 substitutions, but not one of them could change the scoreline. Not one of them could break down the Ghanaians. And it's a real special mention to the effort that Carlos Queiroz' side have put in today, because they were chasing after every ball. They were blocking every shot. They were making every possible challenge that they could. And they have been rewarded with it today with the point. And that more or less looks like that they should qualify for the round of 32. Both sides can top the group, of course, still. England will be having that game against Panama, whereas Ghana will be looking for a big victory over Croatia. So, Paul, we can get your final thoughts, and then we can wrap up on what has been a wonderful show here on the Commentary Hub.
Well, I'm looking again at this replay, and this is where the game, in my opinion, should have been won. The Harry Kane opportunity, 6 yards out. I'm concerned about Harry Kane, and I'm concerned about Harry Kane if England get into a penalty shootout. He has moments of madness. He has moments of madness where I don't know whether the blood rushes to his head. I don't know whether he just becomes excited, but he has moments of madness, and that was one of them right there. All that needed was heading into the net.
It certainly was. It was so unexpected from England's talisman, especially after that inspiring performance in the first game. And all the performances of all the other great strikers. We thought Harry Kane was going to join that list. But Ghana, they couldn't break them down. And they are more than deserving of the point today. But it's been a pleasure presenting this show to you here today on TCHub. My name, of course, is Alex Peters. And alongside me today has been Paul James. We thank you all for joining us. If you are wanted to subscribe, wanted to like, wanting to see what games we've coming up next, we have Scotland versus Brazil, a massive game tomorrow, Wednesday, 11 p.m. British summer time. I will be on co-coms for that one alongside Nick, who has produced the show for us today. So, as mentioned before, thank you once again for joining us. Despite the uninspiring England game, I can say that me and Paul have really enjoyed bringing this show to you. So thank you once again from me, Alex Peters, here on the Commentary Hub, and we will see you for the next game.